at the end of the fence. Remember a couple weeks ago, Paul made this trash patio. We called it a trashio, and we fixed up some fencing here. Some of our old picket fence there. Anyway, so we're going to clean up this corner a little bit and refresh the mulch a layer or two depending on how much it needs. I'm going to start in this corner here. I even weeded down the row here for the compost area. It's looking much better. And weeded in the bed here and remulched it. And it looks so much better. Ready for summer. This bush here is getting a little bit lopsided and front heavy. We'll have to shape that one of these days. Maybe even wait till next year. We'll see. So this is our herb garden. We're going to add more herbs. Most of these always come back every year, but we need to add some more to fill it out. But I think I'm also going to add some vegetables here, one of them being lettuce. It will need something around it so the rabbits don't get to it, which we'll get to as well at some point today. But I'm going to at least plant the lettuce and hope that the bunnies don't get to it until I fence it. We'll see. The lettuce, there are a few plants within this, so I'm going to pull them out and separate them. They will spread out and they will continue to grow for a while. So that'll be good. And it will fill in some of this area too. We'll leave a little space in between them. careful when you pull them out, when there's multiple in a pot like this, so you don't destroy the root system. We're cleaning out these planters that we had gotten from Paul's aunt, gosh, last year I think, and we had spray painted them blue because it was just a weird mauve-y color. A little fragile, as a piece of it did break off on the bottom on one of them. We tried to repair it, didn't work, but we're going to try to just make sure that part doesn't show. So for now, because I don't feel like investing in another one at this point, we are going to clean them up by using a really good steel brush. And then we're going to wipe it down and we're going to spray paint them white. We're going to try that. Hopefully they'll look really pretty and elegant.
The blue did last all year.
It did.
Just over the winters when it peeled off, which is fine. If we got to spray paint them every spring, that's fine.
That's true. So we already scrubbed it down with the steel brush, and now we wiped it down. So now we're going to spray. It's a high gloss white paint. I'm getting as thick as I can in one round. Okay, so I moved this planter over like a crazy person. I did it without shoes on because sometimes when I'm outside I like to have my feet feeling the grass. I just like that to ground myself, but I forget when I'm doing projects not to do that. So I had to carry with this dolly to try to shift it from there in that corner over here. Now I'm trying to do it the lazy way because there's tons of soil in it. This was kind of rickety, kind of put together this past fall at the last minute with old fencing. As you can still see, we have more of that fencing, which we're taking care of soon. We're kind of doing it little by little because of the expense and frankly the time. So we had used from the main part of our fence, what was left of that, we had put it together to make these planters. They are not in the best shape. They're already starting to shift a bit. I don't know if they're going to hold out, but I liked that whitewash look at the last minute in the fall, but now I'm going to paint them with just random paint that I have laying around. I'm not getting too in depth with it, with an exterior paint, with a well thought out color. I just have this like yellowy color that was actually passed down to us from Paul's cousin who's leaving his carpentry work, and he had a bunch of stuff he was just letting go of. So he offered it to Paul and I, and we are going to use one of those colors, this yellow color. It's an interior, so it won't last for a long time, but it's something that'll just spruce up these planters for a little bit. I anticipate that by fall of this year, that will be the end of it, and we will have to disassemble these planters. But it'll get us through this season, and it was free. So here we go. A little cracks when I moved it, and mainly because it's filled, and it is kind of falling apart here. We just kind of jimmied it together real quickly. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll last for a while. If it was newer paint or a specific paint color that I picked out or better materials, I would put more into this. I'm just trying to get through till fall. If it just doesn't hold out even before then, no problem. The flowers that we put in here soon, we'll just transplant into a better planter, and we'll just purchase some planters. Thought we'd give it one last go while we had it for one more season. We always try to get more life out of something the best we can. I have to do some repairs on these things here. Again, it's just to hold this over till fall. It's not bad for free paint. It's something I wouldn't choose normally, but it is almost like a French vanilla ice cream kind of flavor look. But it's for now. I don't know if you can see the difference between this like French vanilla color, French vanilla ice cream color, and this color here, this whitewash kind of grayish look here. But it is looking a little better, but I'm not super happy with this color. It is an interior color. Again, this is just a hold off. We're going to give it a go. If it's not something we're really enjoying, we'll probably buy some patio pots and disassemble these. But for now, we're going to try to make do. It's free paint. It's free materials for the patio pot. We're going to give it a shot. So on to the second one now. We always try to reduce waste and reuse and recycle. It's really important to do that as much as you can. It's falling apart and sand is peeking out the edges and the corners there as I'm doing this, but we're going to try to get it to hold together for a while. a little for the bottom.
You got it.
I built this up in the back.
Nice. Oh, that's
I wanna-
good. Yeah.
I might have to do it at the end again.
Yeah.
Thinking I want to do, instead of copying the pattern, maybe because I pink and white on this, maybe I'll do it on this
Yeah,
side.
that's right. The two on the inside is the pink and white. Yeah. I like it. Landscape construction adhesive.
So if you can hear me over the traffic, I'm sorry, it's always busy traffic. There is never a good time to film. We had this pedestal that was like a stone, tan stone color, and it's ceramic of some kind. And anyway, whatever material it was. But anyway, it was unpainted. We had painted it black last year. If you remember in the corner, it just didn't work. We had put a pot on top of it. It just wasn't, it was kind of balancing and the glue didn't really help. So this year I wanted to paint it white. And I had, if you remember when I tried to rescue that plant that did not work out for the indoors, this is the pot that I had whitewashed, the terracotta pot. So we had taken some landscapers concrete glue and we had made a little rim. Paul had done that, and then we put the pot on top of that. That is a, not sure if that's, yes, that is the verbena. It's a white verbena and it's going to look so pretty and full and cascading, and hopefully that will keep it stuck to the pedestal. We won't water the plant until it's completely dry, which takes a little bit. I don't know how long, but we may have to wait until tomorrow morning to actually water them. We'll see what happens. And then we had changed out the pots where we had petunias all over, but we decided to go with the petunia in the middle and the purple verbena on the sides. They are going to cascade to match these phlox. The phlox will be just green soon, but it will give it a little splash of color in this corner. We're very excited about that. And our gorgeous, if you remember from last year, these beautiful begonias, but they look like these peachy yellow orangey roses. They're so pretty. It's a different style, different type we got from a garden center nearby. We love it. we had to get it again this year because it's so pretty. I am trying to find a way to pretty up this plastic pot though. We're not sure how we're going to do that yet, but that's in my sights. Also, we have down here, we had put the rest of the pansies along with the phlox that we had divvied up that don't look so great right now, but they will come back. There's life on them. There's green, and they're going to look so pretty once this all grows out nice and full this summer and into next year. The pansies will not come back next year, but the phlox will, and hopefully spread out all along the bed here by next year. And they stay green all year round, so it's a perfect accompaniment to this little bed here. That's it. Okay, so we found more of these. This seems to be our thing this year. These are smaller than the ones we had gotten over in the other part of the secret garden, but these are our, aren't they beautiful? These pretty pink geraniums. Paul was never a geranium lover, but he's loving these because they're different. So we're gonna do this from the store. These were about $3 each. We're gonna put 2 in each, and then we're going to put some periwinkle that we have on our property up on the hill, and we're going to add that to give it a little bit more structure, a little more exciting things. Here, so we're going to put these on each end, and then a little periwinkle on each other corner, and they will, with a little fertilizer and a little thyme, they'll spread out and be really lovely. They'll fill in and then hopefully even cascade over a little bit the periwinkle, not the geranium. They'll stay straight up. But we're doing kind of a pink and white theme where we have a little bit of the purple, especially pale purple, and we did add some marigolds because it keeps out like rabbits and stuff out of your garden, and they only really had a yellow, or they'd have like a red or a yellow red or a rust color, and that wasn't really our thing. So we're going with the yellow. So you will see spots of yellow even in other things, like later in the summer you'll see our daylilies will be yellow. We do tend to go for more of those pale pastel colors. So we're going to add these in our planters. You saw me do the yellowy like French vanilla. We didn't like it. It just seemed wrong. It just seemed dirty. And we're kind of doing a lot of the white spray painted and the white brushed on paint and the white flowers and the pink, and it just seemed to bring it out better, and it looks cleaner and prettier. So we went with a white paint that we also had laying around. We didn't want to buy any of it because this is coming down. This planter will definitely not make it after the summer. So in the fall, mid to late fall, we'll be taking it down. Don't mind. Can't even talk today. Don't mind my dirty legs because I was in the dirt and mulching today, which I didn't show, but we'll show you the end result when it's done. But what we're doing right now is the planters. So I'm going to get 2 more geraniums in the other planter, and then we're going to add the periwinkle. And these pink colors, so pretty. They're just such a vibrant pink. They're so pretty. Some of the majority of the soil is from our property, and there's lots of stones in it. So if you see me flinging things, it looks like dirt. It's just the stones. Here we go. Just waiting on the periwinkle. Here comes Paul with the periwinkle delivery from our hill. Doesn't look like much now, but it'll really spread out. And it's definitely done flowering, which is a shame because it would have looked nice with the pink and purple, but it'll be a nice vine along with the pink. It'll be really pretty. We have so much of this periwinkle growing that we definitely wanted to use this and not keep spending too much money. It's really great to have plants on your property that you can reuse and save money. So especially these vining things.
It all came from one plant 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago.
Isn't that something, huh? It was pretty cool. Little did we know it would become this. We're just topping it off with a little topsoil, garden soil. Not topsoil, garden soil.
Potting soil?
Potting soil. Thank you, Paul. I was just about to say that, and I was like, I'm not sure. So you caught it just at the right time. But it just finishes it off, and we'll give it some nutrients. We will be giving it nutrients and some fertilizer, and it will really come alive in the weeks to come, especially when it's just essentially dirt from our property. Not really a really good soil, so this kind of gives it a little bit more nutrients. Depending on what you're doing, you only need like a small bag, really. Sometimes it just tops stuff up. You don't really have to spend a lot, and we are not about spending a lot, so it's amazing what you can do with little resources. We're going to water these in, and it'll be all set. planting some annuals around the pool. If you remember, if you could see in the background, we used to have another pool and it got really dingy and it was leaking and it was just getting all frail and falling apart. So what we decided to do is we were going to get a new pool this year, but we thought we had a little time. Unfortunately, the pool had other ideas. It kind of burst a little bit. So we've had this pool we're going on maybe 6-7 years, I'm guessing, possibly 5, but I think it was more towards 6 or 7 years. And that was fine because they make them now where they can keep them up during the year, but it just kind of fell apart. They are not priced the way they used to be, as everything is getting really expensive. So we had a 16-foot pool. We have a small yard, so we can't do much bigger than that. I think at one time we tried an 18-foot and it was great, but we lost a lot of our yard. So we had gone with a 16-foot. This time around, we had actually, from years ago, we had paid for a 16-foot significantly less, and I mean significantly less, than we have for a smaller one. So this year we went with a 14-foot because even with the 14-foot, it was like almost $200 more. It was insane. So we did get a smaller pool, but it looks so much nicer, but we have more space around the pool. We are not upset about that. That actually is enough to keep us cool. Our kids are older now. Our daughter has her own home. Our son is graduated college, which is nice, and he's home working from home. And with that, he doesn't go in the pool a ton. It's more like me and my husband. But sometimes even with people here, or someone will have a child to go in the pool, we don't need a huge, big pool. Again, we have a small yard. So, but now we have, our issue is around the pool, we have all this space. We love that, actually. So we're going to take advantage of that and plant some annuals for this year, but next year we'll work it out later. We did take the time to plant here. And last year, if you remember, we already had this here. And then on the other side of the pool, which I'll show you in a bit, has another one of these irises. So, but it was more green, right, like right here. So we're going to transplant from the front. We have so many of them that are overgrowing. We really love to get perennials that you have to split because eventually up on the hill there, we're going to be adding more. It's starting to get weedy again, so we're going to have to go through and weed that soon. We did purchase from Aldi's for like 40 bucks this great umbrella on the deck here, which is great. We are slowly but surely getting things together, but we do tend to keep things a little under budget because everything's so pricey. So I'm happy to report groceries are going down, but we have a lot of expenses, so we still have to work on that. So because of that, we're keeping it as low budget as possible. So right now we're going to just plant basic impatiens, which are really pretty. We're kind of going with this dark pink fuchsia color, white. It's going to be really, really pretty. So I'm going to work on that right now. So Home Depot had these 12 packs for $12. So we grabbed 2 of those so we can hopefully spread it nicely around the pool. I'm going to place them in spots first, and then I'll go around and plant them, just because I want to make sure that I know where they're going to be, and I make sure I don't make it weird placing them. Paul is transplanting that iris now that I was just talking about from the front. I'm just placing them now just so I can see if I'm going to have enough and where they're going to be. Once they're miracle growed, they will spread out more, which will be nice. Right now they're just single plants, but they're really going to grow around the pool really well and spread out. So right now I'm gonna take a break from showing you this, and I will show you at the end because you've seen me while working around the pool, but I will show it at the end because something else is going on, and we only have one camera, so we want to show what Paul's doing. So remember our secret garden. I want to show you what has transpired from this gorgeous garden. It's becoming an area that we absolutely love, but Paul is actually going to continue with the fence. The price is just not going down, and also for us to have it affordable, we've had to get like pickets a little at a time. So we're at a place where we're about halfway over, and we're going to start rebuilding the fence on the secret garden side. He did get a few cross beams, he got the fence panels, and we're going to go about halfway over, about maybe a picket and a half, but he'll just complete one fence panel today, and then hopefully next week we'll be able to finish it off. But we want to show you what's transpired in the secret garden and what he's working on. So I'm going to turn it over to Paul, but for now I just want to quickly show you the secret garden. Isn't this lovely? So we have mint. We've let it go because it's going to eventually be a cool ground cover. And it at times can seem weedy, but we actually do use this chocolate mint. We use it a lot in our iced teas. We'll put it in dishes. We'll have it on the side. We'll even cut it and put it in a vase because it smells so good. We love this stuff, and it takes off like weeds. It becomes a really beautiful ground cover. So we're leaving it there, and it will spread eventually. So that's that. And in between that, we have some Rosa Sharon little babies from our Rosa Sharon bushes, and we have one over there in the rocks, which you'll see someday as it grows, and then some in between the mint here. And we've got, I'm trying to think of what that's a butterfly bush, I believe, and we've transplanted some of our grasses, our ornamental grasses, and our, as you saw from earlier footage, our oregano. And we have some marigolds. You will notice this little sprinkler here. That's so we can find where the hole is. We have a mole because we did have a little marigold in between each oregano, and there's one missing over there because he pulled it right into his hole. I didn't think they'd be interested in a marigold. That's supposed to deter those type of animals. But I have one here to mark where that hole is, and we're gonna have to figure out what to do. And we have our beautiful not begonias. What am I trying to say, Paul?
I can't remember the name.
Geraniums.
That's it.
We have our geraniums here, and over there we have a snowball bush growing, which is great.
This is a delphinium.
Delphinium. It's a butterfly attractor is what I was trying to say. So not a, God bless you. So we're not, we're just doing a, we're trying to attract butterflies, but it is not a butterfly bush, excuse me, it is delphinium, and I love delphiniums. So, and then we have here, we have more of our, is it lily?
Yeah, Stelladora lily.
That's our Stelladora lily. We have that fertilizer plant that when we transplanted it behind the ornamental grass here, wasn't looking so great. And we just kept on it and kept giving it some love and water, and it's now coming back. We have no idea what it is. If any of you can remember, we'll probably ask our daughter. She planted it. This is her forte. But it's great because you cut it down, you throw it in among the, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by a lovely bird.
Sounds like baby birds.
It's possible, yes, I thought so too. Some mama and baby birds up there. Not that you could hear it over our traffic, but it is so lovely. But anyway, so we have some of the fertilizer plant here that you can cut it down and move it around your garden, and you just lay it down in there, and it for some reason fertilizes. So I forget exactly what it's called, but then it just grows right back. I mean, within less than a week it's back again. It's amazing. And then we have, of course, our raspberry bushes are coming back. We have, I was trying to figure out what that bird is up in the trees. It's a nest up there somewhere. It's lovely. And we have our, if you remember, we were going to put that salvia up on the hill up there, and it just wasn't going to work. It needed full sun. So it's thriving here. I'm really glad Paul spoke up and we went with that. We went with his gut there. These lovely little white flowers over here, I see them every year. They're getting prettier every year, and they're growing out more and more. It's a weed, but I don't call it a weed. I think it's beautiful, but it is a pretty flower. I wish I knew what it was called. I need to get that plant app where it can identify plants on an app. It's a little expensive monthly, but I would love to have a free version. But our planters are doing pretty well. They will get even more full as time goes on. We have our oak leaf hydrangea over in the corner that we had one growing in our front yard, and that's the baby from it, Paul, isn't it? So it just kind of started growing another one. So we transplanted it here. It's going to hide our meter. It's going to hide this ugly little blank spot, and it's going to be this whole secret garden we've been going for and wanting for years is finally going to come true. It's going to feel like a little hidden nook in among all these flowers and bushes and trees. It's just lovely. We have a birch tree growing in between our rocks, and every so often we have to cut it down completely or trim it or something, but it is so pretty the way it, like these feathery leaves kind of blow in the wind. It's a great shade, and it's really a dainty, pretty tree. Paul and I love that tree.
I only cut it down occasionally because it leans towards the house.
It does,
and
yeah.
birches aren't known to be the strongest tree. They generally have some rot when they get big. So
that's true.
It just keeps growing. Otherwise, I'd transplant it if it wasn't in the rocks, but there's no way to dig it out. So
that's true, and it's kind of neat that it's growing in between the rocks, and it gives us some shade. And boy, does it look pretty with the feathery leaves growing. Okay, apparently my camera, I didn't put. Oh, there you go. You're looking up at the trees again. Okay, so. And then again, we just tried to repeat a little bit over here. I will show you at the end from a better angle, but right now, before we lose some daylight, I want to show you Paul making the new fence panel. So we're going to do it in stages, but today he's just working on one. So here we go, and I'm going to go plant the rest of those flowers. All right, see ya. good to be back. We've had a, oh gosh, a little over 3-week vacation.
Yes.
And we're back. A lot of things have happened. We anticipated maybe a couple weeks. It ended up being a lot longer than we originally thought. Our son, Jacob, graduated college.
Sure did.
Yes, he now has a bachelor's degree in computer science, and he double majored in science and math, computer science and math. And it was a big day. It was a beautiful day, and we had a lot of preparing for it. He had a lot of work to do leading up to that day, up to the last day before. So he really needed this time off to work on our videos, and we were happy to do that for him. And it turned out we needed the vacation a little bit too.
We were busy the whole time, so there wasn't much relaxing going on, but
no,
a lot of stuff going on. But we're back.
We are, and we're very excited to be back. We have been working on our garden a lot. And that special room we're designing for Jacob.
Yeah.
And we're not going to show you too much of it this week because we'll show you a couple things in the next couple of episodes, but we want to most of it show you as a whole, the finished
reveal.
Yeah. So we do have some footage that we've saved, and we'll show you a couple things just so you get like a little excitement, a little teaser towards that video. So
we're very excited.
We're very excited. Yes, we're hoping he'll be excited too. So one of the things this week that you'll see, we've been recording and kind of filing, if you may, these little moments of for this episode. We've been doing in little pieces throughout these 3 weeks. So most of the time we've been working on the garden. And it really transformed in just these few weeks, and already it's growing beautifully. It's some things as of today were new, so not everything's really lush at this moment, but a majority of it is already getting lush, which is great. We do, like last year, unfortunately, have a little critter in the garden. We have a bunny.
A few critters.
We have a bunny, but the main critter I'm talking about is we have a a woodchuck. A groundhog woodchuck kind of thing in our yard, and he is feasting on some of our flowers. So we have to figure that one out. But besides that, everything looks pretty great.
Because with a graduation, of course, there's going to be a graduation party.
Yes.
So we're trying to get the yard prepped.
Yes, and we wanted to do it anyway.
Of course.
But
that's kind of, it sets a deadline.
Yes.
Kind of get certain things finished, in time for the party. So
we're
really excited.
Yes, we are, and it's that deadline that we're getting nervous that we're getting really, really close. We have a few weeks before the party, so we're going to try to finish everything. Yeah. We really want his graduation present. We want that done soon. I would have loved for it to have been his room that we're working on, his entertainment room. We would have loved for that to have been done by the time he graduated. It takes a lot on the budget, and it takes a lot of time, and we've been working on it, but we had to pace it out a lot. But we want it to be great. So I'd rather put in the work and take a little longer and it be the finished product that we like. Yeah. And like we've said before in previous episodes, this is not HGTV. This is not something you whip through. And
we don't have a crew or an unlimited budget.
No, so we can't do that in a few days or a day. So anyway, I know when we left you, we were doing the garden on the hill. And we're doing
bench garden.
Yes.
Oh, is that what we're calling it?
The bench garden. Yeah. Still waiting for, if you guys want to throw a name our way. We'd love to hear what you have to say, because it needs a better name. But for now, it's the bench garden. We also have, we've been slowly in spurts working on the secret garden, which we've been calling it the secret garden and wanting it to be a certain thing for a long time, and it's finally happening.
Yeah, it's
finally coming together like how we'd want to.
Yeah, it's kind of the hidden part on the other side of our house, so it doesn't get seen as often. So we've kind of just left it. It's kind of sitting there. I mean, we did a little things. We built a patio there and put the bench.
Yeah.
But now we finally really started putting some effort in and bringing it to where we want it. So we're really excited.
So excited. Yeah. So we've made little touches here and there. We had an issue with our pool. It kind of
Finally ruptured, yeah.
Yeah, it bit the dust after, I think about 7 years, maybe anywhere between 5 and 7 years, but I'm pretty sure it was close to 7 years.
Right.
So it was time.
And this is one of those seasonal pools. It's not an actual above ground
Yeah.
pool. It's one of those, you know, you build a frame out of whatever.
It's like metal frame,
Yeah,
yeah.
metal frame and the plastic lining. That's all it is. So eventually, I mean, they don't last forever. So it finally went.
No, but it used to be where you take them down each season. We've been able to leave it up this whole time. They make them so well now.
Yeah.
And this one should last us a while. But I have a feeling this is probably our last pool.
Yeah.
As we're getting older, and it's a lot of work to maintain, and we really want to maybe get our garden back. But I really love the pool in the summer. It's really great exercise. It really cools you off, and it's just nice to have when you want that relaxation every day in the summer. I'm a summer girl, so I really like to be outdoors, soaking up that vitamin D. But even if you have like company over, it's just nice to have that to offer.
Right.
But I have a feeling this is probably our last one. Anyway, so we've been doing that. We set up the pool. We've been the new pool. It's a little smaller than it used to be, but it's nice to have a new pool because it was really falling apart and finally gave. We are starting to do some flowers and plants, some transplants as well around the pool.
Right.
We've been working, like we said, on the secret garden and little elements here and there, and you'll see the flowers that we've planted and how they're already starting to look lovely. We've been cleaning up a lot around the yard. Mulching a little bit at a time. So you're going to see some of that. On top of that, that little, like we said, that little snippet of the paint going on the wall. But that's pretty much it for this week. But we have some news. We've been wanting to mention this for a while. We are now going to be twice a week versus the once a week.
Right.
And we're going to have 2 maybe shorter videos.
Right.
Yes, we're going to keep it short as much as we possibly can, so it's not too much at once. This alone may be a little longer than we anticipated because we've been gone for a while. So hopefully we'll try to keep it the 20-minute mark. But we're going to have it twice a week. So right now we're reaching for Tuesday and Friday. So we'll see if we can keep that going. This all depends on my son's schedule in the future. This depends on ours. We've got some big changes coming through the next couple of years for us. And besides the 2 days a week and the shorter videos, we've got a special episode coming up soon.
An anniversary edition. It'll be a year in what? A couple?
It's already been a year.
It's been a year now.
We're a little behind because of the graduation,
Right.
but yeah.
So it's been a year since we've started our channel and started our journey, and we're so glad that you guys have joined us with that very much. We love it. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It is a lot of fun.
So with our anniversary episode, we're going to, what are we doing?
We are going to you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait and see. Yeah,
So,
but it's
coming
going to
up.
be a longer episode for that one
Just
because
because it's a special.
we're going to show you some fun stuff.
Yeah.
This is also a time, if you have questions, to think about those questions because we're going to answer them on the anniversary episode. So that's coming up in another week. We've got some work to do first while we're back, but we want to say we're so excited. We're seeing our channel grow even though we haven't been around for a few weeks. It's been really exciting. So welcome to our new viewers. We're very excited to see you here.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting to see our numbers rise. It really makes us giddy happy.
Yeah.
But also for those OG fans, we're so grateful for you as well.
Yeah.
We really are glad you've stuck around, and we just want you to know we're enjoying this tremendously.
A lot of fun.
Yes, and we've kind of missed you guys these last few weeks, but we're back.
We're back.
So welcome back. Thanks for listening to our ramble here, and we hope you enjoy our next our video here today, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.